Good night, Shabbos. We are at Parshas Kisetzei. Kisetzei Lamachama Alavecha. So, just to take note and understand, in other words, regroup. What's the purpose of the Parsha? What's the purpose of the Torah? There's many, I'm not going to say the purpose of the Torah, but as to the limit that we are going to go, the kav that we're going to tap into. The Torah comes from Makom Gavoya and it goes down to Makom Namach, which means it comes from a high place and it goes down to the lowest places, which is just like water. Water is considered chesed, it's chasadim, it's kindness. Kindness is something that a person is extending his kindness, which means that I'm reaching down, I'm going to go meet wherever I need to go in order to go and raise or lift or resolve whatever needs to be resolved. So the Torah comes in, and the first is first, that after doing, a person gets caught up in his work, gets caught up in his doing, we forget why we're doing it. When a person loses track as to why he's doing it, the job is much harder. When a salesman does not know what he's selling for, the reason he's selling for, eventually he's going to burn out. That's why we need a vacation. A vacation is a time to come back to center, come back to self. That's why we have Shabbos, that's why we have Shemitah, that's why we have Rosh Hashanah, that's why we have all these days of the year that we get to regroup. And the purpose of regrouping is to find, again, to tune into my center point as to the origination, where I'm coming from. Where is the laser? There's a laser beam coming from all the way up there, coming down to the bottom. We get stuck at the dot at the bottom, but really you want to look back as to where it's coming from. And if I know where it's coming from, I get in touch with my Ratzon, and that is Cheshbon HaNefesh. We have to do a Cheshbon HaNefesh. We're all familiar with the term Cheshbon HaNefesh, which we usually it's a Cheshbon HaNefesh, how all the negatives that I've done, but here Hasidus comes and tells us, no, not to look from bottom up, but from top down. My Cheshbon HaNefesh is as to what do I stand for? What do I want? What do I bring? What's my koyach? What's my color? What's my voice? What's my shofar? What's my sound? And from that place, once I tune in, I make a Cheshbon HaNefesh, I do and I dig. It says, the whole Chodesh El, I'm digging with the compassion of the Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim. From tapping in from that place, once I align myself with that place, first there's a cleaning, it's a cleansing, the whole body aligns. You align yourself with, when a person is aligned with himself, when he's at peace, you're tapping into rachamim, to compassion. And when there is compassion, when I'm listening to something that suits me, something that feels good, that lights a hope of my heart, automatically that is an energy that can cleans the whole body, it cleans the whole guf. It's a laser that comes through. It's a cleansing, and when there's a cleansing, it's, if you're mindful, if you're present with that, that replenishes the koiches, and from that place, I can align myself, clean my vessel, so when Rosh Hashanah comes, I can receive the ultimate, the new light that comes into the new birth that comes into the Welt. And from that place, I have the koyach to unpack that raw energy, that raw light throughout the year, every month, every week, every day, every hour, and eventually every minute. So we are here to, let's start, like we had Devarim. Devarim is Midbar. It's the same words as Midbar, Devarim. Person goes in the Midbar. Nobody here was raised on a silver platter that can say life was good and I have no expression. I had everything I needed. Everything was served to me, and therefore I have no expression. You were all, each and every one of us were stuck in the Midbar. You were in the Midbar. From there you developed Devarim, you developed words. You went out of your comfort zone, and you reached out and you learned the language. Now you understand how to label that ball of unknown, that whole ball of that keeps spinning, the fire or whatever it is that you're experiencing, your pain or your laughter, whatever it is. Now you have a language. I know what's going on. I know how to communicate. It's no longer one big ball of unknown. That's just I'm experiencing something. I have an anxiety. I have a depression. Anxiety and depression is a ball of energy that has no words. You've developed a language. You're not a child. You know how to speak, and you've learned how to speak from life experience. You already have life experience. You have a enough lessons you've learned throughout your journey. From there, from the words, you have developed Veschanan. Now you know how to ask. You ask, I need help, or I can give help. I'm here to help. I'm offering. I'm here to take. I'm here to receive. I'm here to receive as I'm giving. Akev, you went down to the bottom. Akev is that you have developed you're able to see all the way down to the bottom from taking from developing language. The person realizes how low we have come. The neshama comes to such a high place all the way down to the bottom. We go down to the Akev. And from the place when I'm at the bottom, I'm not running away, I'm not in denial anymore. I don't say to myself that it's okay, everything is fine, I don't need to understand, this is above and beyond my pay grade, why do I need to change, everything is okay, it's not okay. You had the courage to go down and accept, I've made mistakes, and not that I've made mistakes, because of that, we get to realize that I am not the mistake, but rather I'm here to, I see my deepest desire, and also from the deepest desire, I see what needs to be fixed. You can see. Seeing is that we have learned that the way I see it, that's the way it's going to be. In other words, I can live from a place of victimhood. I can live from a place of victim, or I can project positivity. I can project that it's going to be good. Is that to see the good in every situation, and that's what the Meir keeps pressing every week in a different way, over and over again, to find the tough, bring it to the aleph. If I see something and I'm looking at it from the negative, that means that I'm a mafrid. But if I bring it together, then I'm bringing the aleph to the tough. That's where the brachas are. As brachas, the brachas and okay, we'll leave it at that. Shoiftim, which was last week, at every door, every entry in and out, I'm putting out a shofet and I'm down at l'kav schus. I'm down to find where I can find the positive in it. I no longer am in the spin, but rather I see the spin, and from that place, I'm applying my positivity. I'm applying something how can I fix this? How can I bring more? How can I make this better? And this week is Parshas Kiseitze. Kiseitze l'machom alevecha, which the Rebbe starts off in the Sikha here, that we're talking here about Kiseitze l'machom alevecha. We're talking here about when the guf and the nefesh is we're at war with the guf and the nefesh, the midas, which it doesn't want to be fixed. The behemoth doesn't want to be fixed. He doesn't know. He just knows how to kick and scream. He doesn't want change. He just wants to. He's in tunnel vision. He doesn't have das. He can't lift himself up, and that's where the neshama comes out. Now, says Chassidus, says the Rebbe, is that once you align yourself with your point, with your center line, with your true desire, with your ratzon, which the whole Chodesh Elul is to bring back to ratzon, to renew the ratzon of Eibishter, to recreate the world, to bring in the positive flow. In a son Hashem you are going to win. You will prevail, you will get out, there will be change in your life. No matter what, it will change. Why? Because if I'm tapping into my kindness, if I'm tapping into my positive flow, to my positive side, and I'm driving from there, it's like putting hot water on ice. It's going to melt. No matter what, it's going to melt. Now we already know that the whole purpose of the ice is that I can find my positivity, I can find my strength, I can find the qualities, my deep rooted qualities that's all the way at the bottom, and the squeeze is deeper and deeper, so we can go deeper and bring light more. I can rev it up, I can find more motivation, bring into every corner, but ultimately there has to be Agnes Hashem on every corner. There has to be we have to get to a point where we see the positivity in every angle, in every aspect, in every corner. It's going to have to be into the Kesef and the Zof. The Degel Machna Ephraim talks about that. It's going to be coming into Kesef and Zof, and in every aspect of life there will be. And because we are in Ekev, because we are at the bottom, and because we are dealing with the bottom level of the lowest Asher Ein Tachten Yoser Amenu, therefore there will be we're going to see it from a place of panim b'panim in every aspect of your life, in your relationships between husband and wife, husband and children, and so and parnasa and all that. There's going to be a shefa. Now, V'shavisa Shivya is, we have to, it's before a neshama comes on into the world, it's hovering above, it's looking for a place to land, it's looking for a place to, where it's going to find its best expression. Where am I going to be, ultimately be able to align self, that'll be able to shine through and through, all the way from Keser down to Malchus, where there's going to be Malchus panim b'panim. Now, keep in mind that nothing is a coincidence, nothing is by mistake. It's exactly the way it's a perfect alignment, which means the plan, the neshama has to come into a place. It's not that I am caught up in a place. It's not that one gets stuck in his situation, but rather it's a part of the process, part of the alignment. It's like moving crystals until it's hard to see through, but then eventually there is just a perfect alignment down to a centimeter, where there is a perfect click and everything falls into place. But it may appear that V'shavisa Shivya may look like I'm trapped. The situation I'm in is too much. The situation I'm in is a mistake. Why did I do this? How did I end up over here? If the situation was different, if I chose differently, it would have been a different situation. Remember something. Going back into the ratzon, go back to the desire, center line. That's where you're gonna find the alignment. The confusion, the questions, is where it's not aligned. The question is, when I'm thinking that I made a mistake, it's not that I made a mistake. The question itself, that is the disalignment. As long as there is still a question, as long as there's still a debate as to if I did right or wrong, that is what is out of alignment. There's nothing to fix over there. There's nothing to figure out. There's no bottom line. There's no end story where one gets to, and I'm like, now that I understand it, now I'm in perfect alignment. It's the people with the questions, with the debate, that you'll never find those people that have figured it out. You'll find them 10 years later, he's still having the same debate. He's still having the same question, and now he's a bigger chacham, but nothing has changed. He's still in the same place. He's still skeptical, there's still svekis. Nobody gets to the bottom line unless when you step out and you go back to your ratzon, you go back to your desire, you go back to your flow. When you go from top down, that's where the answers is, in the Shara Chamishim, the 50th level. Now the 50th level is not something that you figure out. It's when the 49 levels are aligned in a way that I can find my center line to say, I'm in Shmita, everything is good, Yovel. After Shmita comes Yovel. That's where the alignment is. So V'shavisa Shivya tells us the Torah that when a son Hashem anakech b'yadecha, V'shavisa Shivya is, don't look at yourself that you've been trapped, but rather the thing that you think that you've been trapped, that is what Hashem gave you. That is where you're supposed to, from that place, that's the matzav that we're in, that's the wick, and looking at it from the top, that's the fire. So, it's all talking about, we're talking here about the neshama, we're talking here about different levels of kitchabrichi, shchinte. There's nothing to worry about. Everything is going to work out. Ultimately, you have to understand that the plan is going to work. There is no mistakes. We're talking here about the master planner, kulam b'chachma sisa. Nobody's going to be left behind, which means that it's your choice how soon you want to leave the garbage at the bottom and just step out of it. I know it's easier said than done, but as long as you there's an opportunity now, we're stepping into, it's the end of the year. Yid Yom HaMedasarachim and Befrat this week is going to be Chai El, it's the Yom HaLedes from the Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe, Shnei Me'oris Egdolim. It's the birth of this consciousness of the talk that we're talking. It's if you look back at everything you've learned and all the everything that you've done in your life, what has given you the most freedom? What has uncaged you? What has unlocked the shackles? What has dropped the iron curtain? What has given you a peek into a breath of fresh air? If you're there 10% or 80%, beseder. That's your choice. But ultimately, we are all neshamas from the Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe, because if you're attached to this learning, then this is where it's at. This is what gives us life. This is what is ultimately going to take us out from the prison that we're in. You know this personally if you've been doing this stuff, learning Torah's Chassidus, Befrat Torah's Chabad, which is the highest level of this yeshiva, of this learning that is here to take us out. Take out our minds and hearts from the imprisonment. So have an awesome Shabbos. It's time to tap into your desire. It's time to tap into the softness. It's time to tap into the womb, to tap into the rechem, rachmanis. It's what's holding. What gives birth to the baby? The mother gives birth to the baby, but what gives birth? What's holding that child? What is building that child? It's called the rechem. Is the ultimate level of rachmanis. The ultimate level of compassion is what's giving birth to something else. So if you want to give birth to something new, want to prepare yourself for this new child that's coming in to the world, it's with ultimate compassion. Just have compassion on yourself already. Have compassion on the people around you. Compassion means that it's time to drop all the judgments, all the nonsense. It's really, it's fear, it's confusion. So have an awesome Shabbos, and Hatzlacha Rabba.